Gentlemen, welcome to week 9 of the League of Legends and Jesse weekly preview that this season has not happened every week. Technically, maybe not weekly. Here are the standings, guys. Couple reminders. One, points matter. Points matter. Each season, the sixth team in the playoffs has been decided upon total points. 6 wins could potentially get you into the playoffs depending how things play out if you're a high-scoring team. Okay, so I know guys like Mr. Luckbox, he's just not running well this year. If you take a look at it, his points against massively larger than any other team. You're still alive. You are very much still alive. 7 wins, definitely going to get you in. 6 wins could get you in the playoffs, could give you a chance to battle for that title. And that is what we all want. Before we dive into this preview this week, again, I need to say this weekly, that we here at the League of Legends and Jesse Preview cannot do what we do if not for the great people at the Tesler, Adler, and Whalen Law Firm. They allow us to do what we do for you, not every week, but the weekly preview. If you need law help, see Trampus Whalen. The guy, frankly, he's the best. He's the upper echelon of lawyering, and the guy, he can do it all. He can do divorce. He can do annulments as well, which is kind of the same thing, but not really. He can get you out of trouble. He can get things taken off your record. He can set up anything you need. If you want to commit a crime, see Trampus before. We'll get a plan in place for you. I have some cards here on file in case you're interested. Trampus, greatest lawyer in this league, without a doubt. Again, guys, here are the standings. So like I was kind of referencing earlier, Luckbox 962 points against. Just it's gross. It really is. But you take a look at some of these teams who have run better or worse with the spreads regarding points for and points against, and we got a great league this year, guys. Very, very competitive. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. Before we really get started and dive into the scoreboard, this is Friday. I realize that games have already begun. I was not able to produce this yesterday, but I want to bring you some strong stuff today, guys. I really want to bring you strong stuff so you're not just wasting your time on your drive home, your commute. Hopefully you're not just watching this, and unless you're at work, then that's good. I want to bring you some strong stuff, guys. And there's something important that came up on a text thread that I happen to be a member on earlier this morning. And we all love Jesse Shulver. He's a dear friend of mine. A few things you need to know about Jesse if you don't know. He wears his heart on his sleeve in everything that he does. He will let you know his opinions. He has strong opinions, and he's very difficult to talk down from those opinions. To the point that if you're at a restaurant with Jesse, he will tell the waiter what he thinks about the food. He will criticize things that he doesn't feel are up to snuff. But most importantly, Jesse has man crushes. And in life, these are individuals who he has ultimate respect. These are people who inspire him to be the father and whatever he does for a living that he is. Okay. And what I consider myself is the keeper of this man crush list. I'm the official. I have to remember and try to keep Jesse grounded sometimes. And guys, what I want to give you is I want to give you this list because I think it's very important for us to be there for Jesse as well. We're a fantasy league, but more importantly, we're a family. And I want everyone to be aware of this. So I tell you what I have is, first of all, it's important to note that the man crush list stops at 12. Once you're below the 12th ranking, you're no longer on the man crush list. So what I first of all want to give you are a couple risers who didn't make the list. Okay. They were not in the top 12. 2 risers, Ezekiel Elliott 1 and Allen Robinson 2. These are guys who are coming up on the end of the spectrum, but they're not in the top 12. A couple guys who have fallen from grace. These are guys who actually previously have been or were on the borderline of making the love list, the man crush list. And these guys, they're not going to get back on. And those are Latavius Murray and Ryan Fitzpatrick. These are guys who have fallen out of the graces of Jesse. Now what I want to do, I want to take you through 12-1, the current man crush list for Jesse Shawver. Number 12 is Ryan Gosling. Number 11, Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham used to be as high as number 3 on this list. He's fallen to 12. Number 10 is kind of a mainstay for Jesse, and that's Larry Fitzgerald. He's just the old reliable. He hasn't actually left the list in 8 years. He has been on the list for 8 consecutive years. Just above him at 9 is Carson Palmer. Not just back-to-back because they're teammates. Jesse loves him, some Carson Palmer. Number 8 is actually Sam Jones. For those of you who aren't aware, that is Flash Gordon. He comes in at number 8 for Jesse. Number 7 is Ricky Fowler. Jesse, a big golf fan, fantasy golf player, DFS golf player. Ricky Fowler at number 7. Number 6, this is a guy who was not on the list last year, and he's already climbed to 6 is AJ Green. Number 5 is Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler, those of you who aren't aware of his acting career, he's in Gladiator and has some other fantastic roles. One of my personal favorites is the one where he is in jail and he's like committing crimes from his jail cell. I forget what it's called, but it's fantastic. Fantastic film. Jesse could tell you what film that is. Number 4 is Sned Daddy, Brant Snedeker, or Snedeker, depending on your pronunciation. Number 3 is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is someone I assume will never leave this list. Number 2 for Jesse is Dustin Johnson, who is a fantastic golfer. He finally this year found a way to rehab from his addictions that largely were due to Wayne Gretzky's daughter, Paulina. And number 1 is Sylvester Stallone, who, quite frankly, will never be overcome by anyone on this list. So that's Jesse's current man crush list. Let's take a look at the preview, guys. Let's take a look at the preview. We're just going to go into these quick box scores. Okay, and again, some of these games have already begun, some of these matchups. So you'll notice I did the Jameis Winston, Mike Evans stack this week, and it certainly worked out well for me. I don't know if Mike Evans got out of that game without a concussion, so that it's a little bit worrisome there. Gray got an okay game from Mohamed Sanu, but I'm sure in a high-scoring affair, he was hoping to get a touchdown there. Matt Ryan, who now we have to start calling him Matty Ice again, guys. He's a member of Adam Brandt's team. Through 4 glories, a 4-glory night. Mo Sanu didn't get any of those, so I'm a little fortunate there. Looking at this preview quickly, you'll notice that I'm playing 2 waiver wire running backs this week. Both my running backs are on bye. So, you know, that live projection might be a little bit high there. For Gray, I'm terrified of the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams stack against the Indianapolis Colts. I think the latest update is Randall Cobb is highly questionable. I think he may have gotten in a very limited practice yesterday. But for me, that's what I fear, is just Aaron Rodgers going nuts on the Indianapolis football Colts. I think that'll be the difference in this matchup if that does or does not happen. Here we have Jesse against Adam Foster. Shake and bake, Mr. Luckbox. Two pretty solid fantasy players here. Jesse actually made a great add and added Austin Hooper, who got him in the end zone last night. You'll take 10.6 from your tight end, especially a waiver wire tight end, every week. Jesse decided to play Peyton Barber. Got him 5.5. Taking a look at this matchup here, you'll notice that we do have a slight favorite in Adam Foster. Well, what I immediately gravitate toward, what I immediately notice is these quarterback matchups. And David Carr, who's just been phenomenal. You see him going playing Denver this week, and this is kind of an interesting one here. Who's going to win this matchup? I think if you beat Denver, you beat them on the ground and kind of some swing passes to running backs in the short passing game. Don't love David Carr this week. Blake Bortles, you know, what's the guy going to give you? It's really just tricky. I think Jesse's hoping that this gets into garbage time and Kansas City runs away with it. But Blake Bortles just really not having a good year. What I do like here is DeMarco Murray. And if I were Jesse, I would have, I think, considered playing both Tennessee running backs instead of Peyton Barber. But that's just some different strategy there. Notice Michael Crabtree covers Derek Carr a little bit. The decider in this matchup for me, and the reason that I have to pick Adam Foster, is that flex position. Ryan Matthews just isn't a guy who's going to give Jesse enough right now. And I know this is a tough week for Jesse, lot of his team on bye. So I think if he can find a way to steal a win this week, it would be huge for him. But I just look at Adams' team, and I just think matchups wise, as well as kind of some consistent touches for especially the running back position, leads me to pick his team. And I really wanted to pick Jesse this week, especially with the going over the man crush list. But I just won't allow myself to do it this week. Again, better weeks ahead for Jesse. He's a playoff team. Here we have Pat. Pat against Luke. Luke this week has not changed his team name, which it bothers me a little because they're high. He's done a great job in trolling this year, and especially with Pat's team name, strong stuff could have come from Luke. So opportunity missed there. Quickly looking at this matchup, I want to make sure we get to the exit song because it's been in my head all week. We have Dak, the Dak attack at Cleveland. You like that. Some other matchups in this that I like. Jeremy Maclin is basically welcome to Dropsville. No reason he should be on a team. I tell you what, I'm just doing this one quick. I'm picking Luke's team this week. I think he's going to make enough moves, and he has enough talent once he gets some of his bench players in the game. I'm taking Luke to win this week. I think Antonio Brown, Big Ben could play, and anytime that happens, Antonio Brown is a threat to score 30. Here we have Butt Buddies, Mighty Midgets. Go through this one quickly here. You'll notice we have a live projected total of 197, so certainly a close matchup here. What I like from Adam Brandt is this is the best job he's done building his roster and using the waiver wire and picking up some players. And in this matchup, despite that compliment, I can't allow myself to select him. He's already gotten 36 out of his quarterback, and I just think the players on the Butt Buddies team, we've talked about this before, I like the touches, and I think this is a week where you could very well see Beckham have one of those games. Again, Montgomery, he's got some questionable guys here. Don't love Cooper this week, but I'm going to select the Butt Buddies in this matchup. And still, even with a loss, both of these teams are very much alive in the playoff race. Here we have Trampus against my brother-in-law, Michael, who also are members of our new basketball league. So that starts up next week. Looking at this preview this week, and this is a tough one for me to call, but taking a look matchup-wise, LaShawn McCoy at Seattle. That, to me, is the pen mover there. Mark Ingram at San Francisco, kind of a neutralizer. That's an easy matchup versus a tough matchup. I think Mark Ingram gets back on track. But shifting over to Trampus' squad here, Julio already got him 20. Delaney gives him an advantage, in my opinion, over anyone on Seattle right now. Really, the reason that I'm leaning toward Trampus' team is the play of Russell Wilson. The play of Russell Wilson, it is eliminated even right now on Michael's team. Doug Baldwin, Dougie McBuckets from his starting lineup, which really hurts Jimmy Graham as well. I do think that Corey Coleman could help Michael going forward into the future, and I like Michael's team. But this week, I just really like the squad that Trampus has laid out. He has Devonta Booker possibly in an easy matchup with Oakland there. See Melvin Gordon, who's just getting in the end zone. High efficiency there. And he's got some touchdown makers through that lineup, other than Jarvis Landry, who we've discussed on this video podcast. The last matchup, and I want to try to go through it quickly, guys, so we can get to the exit music today. Looking at just what will be two of the nicest two men in this league, in my opinion. See a live projected total for Jason there. That is terrible. And, Jason has done a great job managing his team. Frankly, he shouldn't be in the position that he's in. But he has handcuffed his starters, and they have gotten hurt. And this just is a bad week for Jason. I like Ty this week. I like Ty's team moving forward. You take a look at Tyler's team. He's assembled weapons. He has some bye guys out this week as well. But I like Tyler in this matchup, guys. Exit music today. Starboy, The Weeknd. This is the Saturday Night Live performance. If you haven't heard this fresh new beat, you need to check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Weeknd.
Sorry, Jason. It's just tough for me to pick you this week. Really want to.
I'm trying to put you in the